Please note these are a form of social commentary, and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh shit, my pickle red, motherfucker!
You are now watching Useless Gaming Episode STS.
You want to tradition with your own risk. Because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted a written imprint of boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time.
Dog will hunt. Fuck, suck, and eat butt. Stupid.
Yeah, what? Very stupid, stupid.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
And all right, how's it going, my beautiful searchers of Earth? I don't know why I said that. All right, welcome to STS. This is your safe space from the magatards, the oversensitive social justice warriors, and the overall just idiocy that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I'm Useless Agent. I'm your host, and this is my awesome pair of homemade headphones. So if you ever wonder why I have to wear this hat all the time, it's because it keeps my headphone on, all right? I'm too cheap to buy another $5 pair. If you guys want to send me one, that's awesome. Put it in the damn chat box. I'll give you my fucking address. Just don't send me anthrax because I'm like totally immune. I snort that shit. All right, so a lot of crap in the news today, or at least from yesterday. And so we're going to get into it. So let's start off with something. Let's start off with something light. All right. So what we have is a Republican congressman in legal troubles about his drunken little episode. Okay. This is going to be fun to watch because this guy's a goddamn idiot. Now, since, we don't have footage of it, I'm going to go ahead and put in a clip of the guy from the Midas Touch, and he's going to go ahead and explain it for you. And again, sorry, guys, but thanks for letting me use the footage. So another thing, before I play that, the reason why we're going into the whole Make America Straight Again, that was supposed to say Make America Gay Again, actually. I messed that up. Totally messed that up. Oops, misspelled that. Okay, so because of this whole ridiculous social media bullshit world we live in, that's what really started this whole thing. I got in what was an argument that was meant to be a debate, and it was really over child grooming and just the idea that a friend of mine, or a friend of mine from high school, apparently is under the false bullshit propaganda impression that for some reason trans people are addicted to children. Now, first of all, I mean, that's just a baseless claim. Now, if you're going to be talking about people that pretend to be trans so that way they can do something nefarious, that's everything. With every law comes those that want to exploit it. Whenever there's a new freedom for any type of person, there's those that want to exploit it. And, it's funny because it's pathetic, but it's scary because it works sometimes. For instance, one moron on the MAGA team, I won't even give her the dignity of giving her a name, but she basically made it now to where it's pretty much illegal for this college to be so inclusive and less exclusive. And I really didn't understand it. It's a black college. It's meant for, black studies. That particular black college actually took in the father of the very person that fucked over that right. So if she was in charge while her father was trying to find a job and trying to get into a college, he would have never gone to college because he ended up being accepted in a black college because they also had a white quota that they have to meet because of affirmative action. So he benefited from that affirmative action. And now his own daughter takes that right away. So you literally just, if you could go back in time, you just screwed your father and you would have never had the privileged life that you got. So these are the kind of idiotic backward walking that these people are doing on the MAGA left. And so let's go ahead and start. First off, I initially thought when I heard Trump doctor, this is a former Trump doctor, okay? So naturally, I'm thinking, this guy right here, this fucking guy. I mean, goddamn, man. So anyway, that's just a weird ass looking guy. So I thought it was that freak, but it turns out it was a different doctor that goes under the name Ronnie Jackson. Now, this is not the same person, so he's not going to be as fun to look at, see? Very boring, white bread kind of dude here. Not over there. Not really that much interest going on there. Dude doesn't have a lot of charisma when it comes to his face. So, it's just funny that that's who we're going to be talking about since there was no footage. That's who we're talking about. And so let's go ahead and let our good friend here tell us the story of what exactly happened in this case, because it is pretty funny. And it already starts off with a great quote on.
A teenager collapsed at the rodeo, and Jackson tries to administer care to him. And in his statement put out by Jackson, he swears he wasn't drinking, and his officers come out and said he wasn't drinking. But witnesses say that, yeah, he was totally drinking. He shoved a gumball in this kid's mouth because he thought he was having a blood sugar problem. So he put a gumball in this kid's mouth. Well, when the actual EMS showed up and everybody was trying to get through, it was a hectic crowd. They couldn't get through the crowd and had to get a couple officers to part the way for him. When they got there, they ordered Jackson up out of the way, and he started getting belligerent with the officers. He told one of them he was going to whip that motherfucker's ass, pardon the language. But they ended up having to handcuff him. He got so out of control, and detain him. Well, the EMS person there took the gumball out of the kid's mouth because, as the EMS technician said, most gum is sugar-free now and wouldn't do a damn thing for his blood sugar anyways, but it presented a choking hazard. Well, old Dr. Know-It-All just had a fit, and started, again, being belligerent. So they took him down to the ground and handcuffed him. and he swears he wasn't drinking. But again, witnesses there have told the Texas Tribune, and thumbs up to the Texas Tribune for doing the journalism on this.
Sorry about that. Anyway, I accidentally X'd out of the wrong thing. So, anyway, what we got there was a hilarious story about a complete idiot. It really doesn't. It really doesn't help your case. That story is just fucking hilarious. So I'm sorry, I X'd out of the wrong screen. So anyway, when you have a situation like this, it reminded me of Seinfeld. When the guy has a diabetic attack and they start shoving these cookies and trying to like close his mouth. When the EMT gets there, you go, "Who put cookies in his mouth? You don't do that." You know, it was hilarious because it was ridiculous. This is supposed to be a fucking doctor. As I showed you the picture of him, he's a very plain white bread doctor that clearly wasn't drinking. All right. Well, then why do you have a drunken teenager on the ground? What is he doing? Obviously, this was made to try to cover his breath. He probably got this kid drunk. It sounds like he got the kid drunk and didn't want, once he knew the police were coming, and because the guy said they had trouble coming forward, that gives him a lot of time. So he probably tried to shove a gumball. Why do you have gumballs in your pocket? But honestly, the only time I ever even see gumballs are in those old ass gumball machines that nobody's used since the 80s. That's why there's always dust on them. Seriously, what the fuck? That's a weird question on its own. All right, so anyway, he knows better than to be shoving gumballs down the mouth of a kid instead of just taking him to a goddamn doctor. But the saddest part is, I wanted to stop at the point where he says they got him on the ground, they handcuffed him, because it gives us a nice ending. The true ending is not so nice. Of course, white boy gets away with it. You know, typical fucking headline. White boy gets away with it. What else is new? So he not only had the audacity to believe he was in the right, but had the confidence and nerve to go shout at this cop asking for his information. Why weren't they the ones putting him in a car? A, you shouldn't be screaming at a cop. Any of us would be taken away for that. But B, these are very suspicious circumstances. Now, a lot of people will not even notice that, again, this goes back to the whole, the trans community and the gay community want to groom children. Well, guess what? There's a fucking straight guy for you. And once again, it's usually the heterosexuals that tend to be the fucking pedophiles. This isn't just fucking me talking. This is statistics and the basic average. You know, I think it's sad that I look outside on a beautiful summer's day and I don't see kids. That saddens me. When I was a kid, I was out. If the sun was out, so were you. And when the sun went down, you knew it was time to check in or go home, whatever your rule was. My point is that it's not any more dangerous than it was when we were kids. And we also kind of really had a very more nonchalant attitude towards the neighborhood pervert. You know, everybody knew that one house. Just don't go by there. Louis C.K. already did it, so I won't cover it. But it's true. We all knew that one weird guy lives over there. Don't go over there. And so with the idea that it's these transvestites and homosexuals that want your kids, a great point again is go to a gay club and look for a kid. Other than the young-looking Asian boy toy, or your little, the average, boy toy, he's made to look young, but ask him his real age. He's in that bar for a reason. It's because he's 21 and he can buy drinks. So it's bullshit. And the fact that you think that these trans people want children. No, they don't. They like young men. But again, the word is the second word, men. They like young men. So do your thing, man. Fuck what they looking at. As long as you ain't hurting nobody. All right. So again, I have to do this whole episode based on one really stupid comment that I read that made me so infuriated because it was someone that I went to high school with. It was someone that I knew, and I invited him into my home. I invited him into my heart, so to speak. I love this guy. And I hear this bigotry, and it's like, dude, no, you know better than this. I know your mom. I know she raised you better than this. And I have a brother that I love very much. And I remember at times whenever he'd get, ridiculously obnoxious. We all do. And it's fine as long as you apologize. So one time my brother, he was acting a little out of line. And he was being rude in front of at the time, my girlfriend. So I simply stated, dude, I know your mother raised you better than that. And it was right away a good call out because he knew how much respect I had for his family. And so he realized that he was embarrassing his family. When you act like an asshole and a complete obnoxious fool, you're not just embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing those that you're with. You're embarrassing those that you love. You're embarrassing to those that you don't even know what they went through, and they're close to you because they thought you were an understanding person. So it means a lot, and it makes a very big effect when you act like a goddamn idiot and you say really horrible things. All right. So let's go back to the comedy again. So this always makes me laugh. Lindsey Graham gets to his own home state a few weeks ago, and I wasn't able to show this, but I can now. And so you have to remember, Lindsey Graham is probably the most spineless person I've ever seen in my life. He's not even on stage yet, and they're already ready to boo the shit out of this guy. So you could just see the MAGAs all over there. Notice the behavior of the MAGAs. They all begin to group together as if in a pack. And then they lunge at their prey with large sounds of booing. Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You can make mistakes on occasion.
Oh my God. I won't let that asshole talk. All right. That is just hysterical. When I saw that for the very first time, it was hysterical because the amount of backbending that Mitch McConnell has done in order to gain the respect of Orange Hitler. He had done so much mental flexibility and mental jumping jacks and all this shit, all for the respect of the unrespectable. And, you know, when he first came on the scene, McConnell said he's dangerous, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's an idiot, you know, just like everybody else. I mean, you had George Clooney and Julia Roberts representing the new movie Oceans, whatever. I prefer the Sinatra one. But, you know, while they're talking, right away, Clooney says there's not going to be a fucking Trump president. And everyone laughed. It's funny how bad we thought, you know, of a chance he had. So, yeah, I really liked Michael Moore's take on doing Fahrenheit 11/9 by switching Fahrenheit 9/11. That was genius. All right, so we got one more clip to show you. And, of course, it's a clip you may or may not have seen before. But honestly, it gives Weekend at Bernie's a run for its money, because there's also a tradition in the I won't just say Republican Party. It's a tradition within politics. I remember when Ruth Bader Ginsburg was getting older, sicker, we started freaking out. Even on the left, we were freaking out. We're like, oh shit, no, you're our only hope, dude. Because she was, she was a huge part of the right side of history, and she tended to use common sense with all of her decision making. She never I won't say never, but she rarely would factor in her own personal interest. And seeing her getting so old, it was breaking my heart. But I never once thought that she was losing any of her mental faculties. She stayed sharp. She stayed on point. This, about what I'm going to show you, is showing how pathetic the other side is, where when you have people like Francine on the right, where she is so old, she is literally not knowing what room she's in. I mean, it's time to go. It's time to retire now. Francine, I forgot her name. But when she leaves, we'd be able to put in 10 more judges. That's how much room she takes up, because of how much money she makes and all the waste of space that she is. But she's there to take up that seat and do whatever the fuck the right wants her to do. And they're going as far as Weekend at Bernie's to keep her there, and claiming you can be a senator of a state when you are miles away every day in a hospital. No, it's time to retire and get a real person. And now what I'm going to show you is both sad, pathetic, nefarious, downright evil, and all at the same time, fucking hilarious that you guys would do this to your own people. I mean, you'd have to have a dark sense of humor to get it, but it's nevertheless just as true and just as creepy. And so, I mean, it is a little bit awkward to see. It's a little uncomfortable because of the way you do it. But I'm going to give you the full minute of this man who has to retire. He is literally mid-stroke. One of his eyes is going into the back of his head. Okay? That doesn't even mean it's time to go home. It's time to get to a hospital and stay there for a very long time until they can figure out what's wrong. I don't want to see anybody being abused like this. And it is abuse, even if it's helping his interests and helps all that shit, regardless of all the beneficiaries. It's evil. It's fucking scary. Here you go.
path to finishing the NDA this week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Let's go back. Go ahead, John.
That is a man that is being held up by strings and guided because they don't want to lose a chair. It's the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen. Love you guys. That's all I got for today. Peace, love, hair grease. Stay yourself, stay free, do all that fun things that you want to do with your life. But let's just keep in focus that this shit happens all the fucking time, and it is goddamn pathetic. And it's not, I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. So again, love you guys. Stay free, stay safe, all that fun stuff. And you know what? Yeah, see you on the other side. All right, take it easy. Sad day.